Another YouTube video, bro. Showing you guys a day in the life, documentation of my life, so that you guys can learn from my mistakes. Not only learn fitness, but mindset, a little bit of business sprinkled in there, things that I'm learning from, my relationship and stuff like that. And I'm being always 100%, I'm always being 100%, transparent with you guys, about what's going on in my life, because I feel like my life is a life full of lessons, right? Things that I'm learning, because I've made many mistakes in my life, right? Made many mistakes financially, relationship-wise. I've made every mistake in the book, besides going like jail or prison or something like that. But other than that, bro, every mistake that you can think of, I've probably made it, right? And I want to be able to tell you guys the lessons that I'm learning from it, and also document the journey of me, building my business, building my body, sharing you guys the keys on how I'm doing it, so that you guys can do it yourself. Right now I'm cooking breakfast. I cook 90% of my meals, right? Unless I truly just don't have any food, right? And then I'm just like yesterday I got a tropical smoothie. Got some tropical smoothie there, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I just had breakfast yesterday and then tropical smoothie. Didn't hit my protein intake. That's cool. Yeah, and I got some decent sleep last night. Some decent sleep. My lower back does hurt, like bad. My shoulders are a little sore. I went to a run club, right, for the first time yesterday. So that was actually pretty straight. I wasn't even thinking about it, but I should have made it content. But I didn't even make it content. Like, that's crazy. But when I go again next week, I will do that for sure. Just like show you guys, the run club, me running, me interacting with people and stuff like that, so that you guys can get a better feel and understanding of, who I am as a person. And I'm currently, finding myself as a person. Currently finding myself as a person, trying to understand myself on a deeper level. And I called my boy. Called me up yesterday. His name is Devon. He called me up yesterday. And he was like, "Man, you was at the you was at a run club. Let me know next time." And I'm like, "Man, I got you." But then me and him was talking for like an hour, and I was telling him, bro. I was like, "Bro, like, look, I ain't gonna lie, it might be that time, bro." Well, I was telling him it was that time to like put down the bottle, put down the alcohol. All right. And he felt what I was saying on that, because we know so many people. We know so many people from college that completely ruined their life due to alcohol, bro. Completely ruined their life. We were talking about that for a little bit. I lost relationships over, alcohol. I even did some shit that I didn't want to do off alcohol. And if I want to be a husband one day, or if I want to be a husband, I want to be somebody that, my bad, I'm trying to find out where to put you guys. If I want to be a husband one day, I have to control my urges, right? Like, as far as emotional outbursts that I want to make. And when you're on alcohol, bro, you're not going to be able to do that. Your willpower is gone, bro. Your willpower is gone, right? This is all gone, bro. Like, so me personally, I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Unless it's like a huge win, like YJR gets 100 active clients, 500 active clients. I'm on back-to-back podcasts that get millions of views, and I'm getting endorsement deals and stuff like that, bro. Unless it's a true win, bro, I don't want alcohol to turn into something I run to to distract myself and to numb myself. Because as a man, we are the leader by default. I talked about this. We are the leader by default. And you can't lead yourself correctly if you're on. Can't lead yourself correctly, and you damn sure can't lead somebody else if you're alcoholic. So I'm never going to tell you guys, yeah, you need to just stop drinking alcohol. I don't care what you do. Or you don't. But if any time in your life God has spoken to you, and he was like, and he told you to let it go, that's a good sign, bro. It's a good sign. It's a great sign. So I'm just abiding by what he's saying. And it doesn't benefit me. It doesn't personally benefit me. I'm an influencer and everything, so my physique is my resume, right? So, that's what you gotta do, bro. As a man, you gotta have that emotional discipline. And it's hard to really have that when you're on alcohol or you're on drugs, because it destroys your willpower. Some people be like, I can do it. Maybe. But has it made you better in any way? And the reality is it doesn't. And I've had all these thoughts in my mind, like, all these thoughts in my mind, like, yeah, bro, like, I need the alcohol, blah, blah. When I'm out in social settings, I don't want to make people feel, uncomfortable and stuff like that. But then at that point, I'm choosing what other people want, what other people's feelings are above my own. I'm choosing other people's feelings above my standards. And I'm not going to sit here and act like it was just alcohol, because, relationships end and things happen structurally due to the foundation for other reasons. But the alcohol doesn't make it better. Doesn't make it any better. So it's just something that I'm personally not doing. You guys, unless you guys will only see me, drinking anything, unless I'm just celebrating a huge win. And celebration for me, is not celebrating somebody's birthday. That's not an achievement. That's gonna make me want to drink. I won't even drink on my own birthday. I'm like, bro, like, it's just another year around the sun. Like, I'm grateful for it, but it's not. Holidays, no. We have holidays every year, right? But now if my boy gets like a mansion or something like that, but even if he got the mansion, that's his win, not mine. So I'm not going to drink to that, right? So my thing is, I'm just not drinking to other people's accomplishments. Like, I'm happy for them, but I'm only drinking for my accomplishments. I'm only drinking if it's like something crazy. And I've had this thought in my mind for a long time, bro. Long time. Like, I remember, getting blacked out drunk on my birthday this year. It was a shit show. Right? And especially you guys that have like girlfriends and stuff like that, wives. Little do you know, bro. Like, and even your girl and your wife will, give you a drink. But if you are somewhat like me, we're all in or all out. Like, I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I'm like, bro, like, we could drink in moderation, but it's like, what's the point? Like, you don't feel anything. Like, I've learned that some people literally drink just to get like a buzz, and they're like literally okay with that. Like, just like a slight buzz. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. When I talk to my boy, we drink to get drunk. Like, either we're drinking and getting drunk, or we're not drinking at all. And they were both like, okay, well, what's the point of just half drinking? Like, just to get like a slight buzz. I was like, that's how I feel too. Like, so that's why me personally, like, since I have that type of mindset, and there's nothing wrong with, if you, and like, and again, if you watching this, bro, and you, if you watching this and you drink just for a buzz, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just something that just doesn't work for me, right? So, so I was like, just me personally, I just rather just not drink at all. I just rather not drink at all, like, just me personally. So, like, when I have like a girl or a girl, yeah, especially a girl or my wife or something like that, she can have drinks. I'm like, yeah, have a drink, do your thing. But I won't personally engage in it because I was telling him, I'm like, look, hey, when you out with your shorty, it's not really you out. You not out. Like, I've had many friends tell me, like, bro, they hate going out with their girl because literally, if they go out with their girl, they not having fun. They just policing and making sure that their girl is straight, right? And I'm like, yeah, like, you can't get sloppy, you can't get drunk, you damn near can't get tipsy. You have to watch everything that she's doing. You got to make sure that she's good, right? That's why I'm like, bro, like, you shouldn't, like, as a man, like, shouldn't be like, especially if you're going out with your girl. Especially if you're going out with your girl. I'm like, you should not be drinking anything, right? Like, you should just have fun. Like, you should be able to just have fun in her presence with nothing in your system. Nothing in your system. And I was telling him that, I'm like, yeah, bro, like, if you want a wife or whatever like that, we got to throw away, the old ways that we used to do things back in college. Because we used to drink Thursday through Saturday, and we used to get tore up, bro. Like, blacked out, tore up, drunk, right? If you was there during that time in history, bro, you understand what we're talking about. So, like, we was getting towed up, bro. Like, it was different. And that was a time in life, right, where the goal wasn't to have, a relationship or build something meaningful. The goal was to have fun, fuck with the shorties and shit like that. So if that's the goal, then those actions during that time match that goal. And if you align yourself with those actions more, you can't be mad if you don't have the relationship that you want, you don't have the partner that you want, because at the end of the day, like, people preach moderation, right? But everyone's version is like, moderation is subjective based off the person. Moderation to me could be 2 drinks, right? Someone else might look at that like that's disgusting. Somebody else might be a daily drinker, and moderation to them is 4 drinks. But to me, I'd be like, damn, I'd be fucked up off that. So, I'm a firm believer, and I read this in somewhere in the Bible. I'm like, look, it said the best way to eliminate temptation is to stay away from it. Stay away from it. Like, I can literally, I'm not gonna lie, like, cause I've never really broken this down. But the only reason why people drink alcohol, right? I'm a firm believer, is because a lot of the times, right? Sometimes people are stressed out and they just want to decompress. I get that, right? But a lot of the times people are using alcohol as a scapegoat. Like, they don't want to feel the weight of their life. They don't want to feel the weight of the bills, the responsibilities that they have. So they use alcohol for a temporary escape, which I understand too, because I've done that many times. And a lot of times people are just not that social, right? And they really don't want to go to certain places. So they need, like, let's say like a concert or something like that, like on a boat. Like, if you need to be fucked up to do something, you really don't want to be there. So you get drunk so that you can act like you're having fun on that boat or whatever. Like, think about it. Every time someone, saying they have the best time of their life, like, realistically, at the end of the day, going to the club is just basically a loud room. A loud room. It is. It's music playing. It is. While a boat is just a boat with just loud music playing and alcohol. If there was no alcohol there, like if you guys don't believe me, just go to the club with no drinks in your hand. No drinks, no nothing. Just watch everybody. You will see that it's a big waste of time. It is. Like, respectfully, like, it is. Like, unless you're there working, unless you're there, like, really networking and trying to, I don't know. But if you just there leisurely, bro, it's usually just an escape. And that's okay, right? Once in a while, whatever. So that's just something that I'm just reflecting on as a person. Like, The club scene, the club scene from when I used to go to the club to now, is different, bro. People not even dancing, people not even talking, right? The point of going out is to get social and talk to new people. But if you're not even gonna do that, you might as well stay at home. Like people go to the club, just kind of just to spend some cash. Don't really talk to new people and stuff like that. And like a lot of dudes, they go out just to find another girl to fuck, right? Girls, they kind of go just because their friends are going and they don't want to be home alone, and they just want to have a little girl time. Like, you know, um, it's just, bro, it's just, I just see it clear, bro. Like, I just really just see it clear, and it's something that you can't really enjoy unless you're drunk as hell, right? So I've made that conscious decision with myself, that I'm not personally going to touch any more alcohol moving forward, and I am going to let my friends know. Like I told my friend yesterday, I'm not touching that. Right, like y'all can have a good time. Like you guys can see me with my Diet Coke and lemonade, but I don't drink. Right, and any person that try to force me, coerce me to do that, right? I don't be around. Right, I don't go into situations where all I know that the only thing that's going to be that people are going to do is that. So I don't want to. I like if I know that, like, okay, if I go to this event and all of them are smoking and drinking and I'm the only one that's not, that's that's gonna make it's gonna be uncomfortable, right? So like, there's no reason even for me to go because people bond off that shit, and there's nothing wrong with it, you guys. There's nothing wrong with the shit. It's just something that I'm just not doing, right? So, and I'm not saying that I'll never drink ever again. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if I'm going to take a sip of alcohol, then I've achieved a massive milestone in my eyes, and I'm gonna celebrate it. But I think that we've I know I've abused it. Oh, it's a holiday. Like let's celebrate. Oh, it's the end of the week. We got through a successful week, right? Let me drink. Like we create these justifications, bro. But I want an elite level of men around me. I want an elite, woman around me, right? And my version of an elite, people is people that I'm not saying that we live like monks and we don't like to have fun, but we understand that like is our fun happens after we achieve something big. We're not weekly, daily, monthly drinking. We're not monthly going to the clubs, weekly going to the clubs, right? We're creating and building things. We're waking up early, right? We're going to the gym, right? We're doing what we have to do, in our businesses, at work, whatever the case may be. We have a solid relationship. We get in that connection with God. That's elite. That's elite. That's elite. We're doing that. We care about our physical fitness. We don't want to be out of shape for our partner, right? We get up early. We focus on our communication skills and we read books and stuff like that because we want to get better. The goal in life is growth, and you can't grow unless you're personally growing as a person, right? So this is something that will I relapse? Who knows, bro? Who knows? Because I'm not perfect, and I don't want my page to be like, oh yeah, this guy's he thinks he's just so much better than us, and he's high above us, blah blah blah. No, I'm documenting my findings and letting you guys know that out of the last 10 years of drinking alcohol, right, I've had a lot of good times and I've also had a lot of bad times. A lot. And I've seen people ruin their life over alcohol. I didn't see people kill people off alcohol, right? I didn't see people wrap their car around a tree, right? I didn't been detained, right? Like, bro, come on, you guys. Like, God already gave me the signs. At this point, if I just ignore the signs, then whatever happens, happens at that point, right? And I'm just documenting the journey. During this whole entire time, we're gonna go to this gym. But yeah, I'm gonna document the journey, you guys. And I just kind of sat here and talked for 20 minutes. But I just needed to. I need to talk to you guys, and I'm just my YouTube is gonna be raw, right? It's not gonna be heli. Okay, maybe at one point it might be, I might get an editor or something like that, but it's not gonna be It's not going to be heavily edited, right? Because, I'm gonna speak from the heart. My only thing that I really got, is just talking to you guys, talking to my clients. That's all I got, bro. Like, so, I'm gonna just, keep on talking to y'all. I don't have, I don't want to say I don't have too many friends. I don't have too many friends that are going to places that I'm going, right? And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people do like to do certain things, and that's okay. Cool. That's cool too, right? But hopefully one day, when I'm consistently working on myself, I attract the right people around me so that I can create an elite level of men. That's my ultimate goal, right? Make money, right? Stay in great shape, and attract good men and women, solid people who care about growth, people that they care about their physical fitness and stuff like that. But let's get out of here, man. We gotta hit this gym. So you guys know we're on the way to the gym right now, bro. And man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have not been feeling like doing anything. My body not feeling the best, and I know that's because of lack of recovery. And mentally, like, I just have not been there, bro. Mentally, like, posting every day, showing up for clients, showing up for my team, bro. I haven't mentally been there. Because things going on in my personal life, but I can't let that stuff bleed into, my business and stuff like that. And one thing that, because I study a lot of great people, like Muhammad Ali and, LeBron James. And one thing that they have such a good ability to do is they have the ability to let their identity, right, push them through on days like this, right? Like Muhammad Ali constantly, affirmed himself, like, hey, I'm the greatest, I don't get hurt, like, no one can touch me, like I can get through, all this. And that's like a mindset shift that I think that a lot of men should take, bro, because that made him successful, right? Did it have its downfalls? Yes. But like, having, especially on these type of days, like, I just don't miss nothing. Like, I just still get everything done regardless of how I feel, right? No matter, if I feel, like shit, no matter if I feel, broken down, my body feels broken down. I get everything done because that's what I do. And those days stack up, bro. Those days really do stack up, and bro, they just really help. Just doing everything on your plate that that you can possibly do, right, is important. I gotta, still gotta do this workout. We're gonna record the whole workout. You guys get to see what I'm due for. I don't know exactly what day it is right now. I changed up my whole split, but I think it's like shoulders. Yeah, I think it's like shoulders or something like that. Because I did chest yesterday, but I'm gonna just knock out everything. Do my mobility. Do my recovery. Like, I don't really have a recovery system, like recovery habits. And the way that I look at my day is, bro, like, I used to be so uptight. Like, if I don't wake up at a certain time, or if I don't, get up at a certain time, then the day's a failure. And that shit really fucked with me, bro. Like, that shit really fucked with me because it made me damn near, like, it's almost like an identity collapse. But it's like, bro, things happen in life. Like, you're not gonna always wake up at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Right, like, especially if you're waking up later in the day. So I woke up at around like 9 or 10 today, right? And then I didn't leave the house until about 1 because I'm cooking, and I was cleaning up my apartment a little bit, and then I just do a lot of work. Like, since I don't have to do a lot of my DMs and stuff anymore, right? I don't do my DMs like if you guys DM me. Sometimes it will be me, sometimes it won't be. Like, I'm just gonna be very honest with you guys, right? But like, when you guys call, like when we set a call to talk to each other, it's me, right, talking to you, right? I just can't DM every single last one of you guys every single day. That just can't happen, right? I would have no life, right? And I literally had no life, and I'd have to wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning just to even message all of you guys. So, but now that I don't have to do that, the majority of my day is taken up, like, okay, just shoot content, go live, do all these things, and
That's mainly what my day consists of, is shooting content, and marketing the business, and posting like 6-7 times a day. And that's basically the grind for me now. And then I have coaches helping me, with my clients. I have a school community, so like, getting people into that school community, is something that I'm doing. We already have like 14, 15 members, and it's only been a month. And then we have my one-on-one coaching, right, where you get to work with me one-on-one, and then I help you create the body that you always wanted. I help you create the mindset that you wanted. So we're last week we sold about 5 people, and that's the standard. Moving forward, is we're going to get 3 people every single, like 3 to 5 people every single week. But that's going to require more marketing, more eyeballs, more people watching my content, more people engaging with me, and just me just trusting in the work, bro. Like, you guys don't understand that, like, I study great people, right, or successful people. I study everybody that's successful in their field, and one common thing that I'm finding so far is that success doesn't happen overnight. Like, that person that you think that was an overnight success, they weren't. Like, there was 10 years of work that we just didn't see. And then when they popped up on the scene, we're like, oh shit, like we never heard of this person. It seemed like he just came out of nowhere. He came up overnight. So and that's the harsh reality. Like, a lot of people grind for 8, 9, 10 plus years before they finally see the fruits of their labor, right? So I shared that with you guys because it should give you guys like some solace. Like, yeah, you might see somebody at 21, 22, mansion, physique, girl, like whatever, I'm saying, whatever you aspire, whatever you think is successful for you. And then you'll be like, damn, like, well, I feel like I'm behind. But you don't know, like, that person might have started their business, like that 21-year-old probably started their business at 12. They were an entrepreneur at 12. Like Big Meech, right? They was hustling. They didn't even go to school. They just said, we're going to hustle. And they hustled at 13. Millionaire. Shit. Multi-millionaire by their 20s. Like, but that's 10 years of work. 10 years of work. Right? And I get it. And then it's like, because we want the results so fast, bro. We want because everything is instant nowadays. Instant gratification. Instant, we can get everything instant. We want the money instantly, right? But we don't understand. We want the money instantly. We want the relationship instantly. But we need to start asking ourselves, and what I'm going to start asking myself is, am I the man capable of sustaining that? Am I the man capable of sustaining that? Because God's timing is honestly the best timing, and I didn't understand it at first, right? But if you guys really study people, with these great relationships, with these great, these great success stories, they're the person that can maintain what they have. They can, right? If somebody's in a 20-year marriage, they in some capability they can sustain that success. You have to sustain that. I was watching a boxing movie last night. The guy's name was Edwin Valero, right? He was a boxer. He ended up killing himself in prison because he ended up killing his wife, right? And he was literally on the verge of fighting Manny Pacquiao and breaking out as a global superstar in boxing, right? This is like, he's been grinding for this like for 10 plus years. Like, he's grinding at the professional level, bro, for like 8-9 years. He's 27-0, right? He's telling people openly, I want to fight Manny Pacquiao, right? And of course he's not broke, but he's not like, he's not living like Floyd Mayweather or no shit like that, but he's on the verge to that. But he was dealing with vices. He was dealing with dealing with cocaine, right? He was drinking, right? He didn't like what he saw in the mirror. He couldn't sit with himself, right? And since he couldn't sit with who he was as a person, he self-destructed. And I really honestly can resonate with that, as far as not me, not him killing his wife. I would never do no bullshit like that. But looking in the mirror, not liking what you see, right? And a lot of men deal with that. That's where depression comes from. When you look into the mirror and you're not satisfied and proud of the person that you see looking back at you, that's what creates depression. You can't sit with yourself. And for a long and even to this day, there's some things that I've done that I can't sit with myself. Like I can't sleep at night sometimes because of the things that I've done, right? Like, you know, if you talk to your girl a certain way, you can't live with that, bro. If you mishandled your money, or you didn't show up for a friend, or you didn't act in alignment with a person that's integral, you didn't complete all your tasks for that day, you begin to not be able to like the person that you see looking back at you. And I've literally had times where I literally could not go to sleep at night. Like, it would be painful to go to bed at night. Shit, that shit was last night. That's why I'd be up, you know what I'm saying, so late. And, that's why as a man, it's important for us to learn how to sit in silence with ourselves. Because if you don't like who you are as a man, you can't sit in silence with yourself, and you try to bring a woman into that equation, bro, you're gonna fuck that shit up. And take that from somebody who's fucked up relationships, okay? I fucked up relationships. Was it all me? No. But the man is the leader. So like, when, bro, like you guys have to understand, like, when you're the man, you're the leader, right? And the downside about being the leader, if it works, they blame you, right? I mean, if it works, you get all the praise, right? Oh, you a good guy, blah blah. But if it don't work, it's on you too. That's when you can start getting demonized and shit. And that's just the responsibility that you have to play as a man. And I know that me as a man, I'm learning that emotional discipline is a lot different than physical discipline, right? Like you can physically, like people say, if you just get up and do something hard every single day, if you learn how to do that, you can apply that to other areas of your life. That's not 100% true, because me being able to push myself to go to the gym when I don't want to and do something physically hard is a lot different than sitting down and having a conversation with the woman that I love and having a hard conversation with her. There are men that physically can do hard shit, but they can't sit down and have a hard conversation with their wife, because that requires a different skill. It requires a whole different skill, bro. Like, in order to sit down and talk to your wife or talk to your girl or whatever, you have to have emotional intelligence. You have to be able to articulate how you feel to her in a manner that she understands it. You have to be able to have emotional control, not to lash out on her, right? But when you're working out and doing something physical, it doesn't require much brain power. Actually, it requires you just to shut off your brain and just do the act. Right? That's it. You don't have to speak, right? You don't have to speak during that time. Being present in the pain, right? And that's one of the reasons why I tell you guys, as a man, you guys gotta, you guys have to limit the things you have to limit the things that distract you and that numb you. Because if you can't sit in pain, bro, it's over, bro. You're not gonna be able to be in a relationship, bro. You're not gonna be able to get the body that you want. It's pain tolerance, stress tolerance. You're not gonna be able to build a social media following like how I have. You're not gonna be able to chase your dreams because God won't give you pressure that you can't handle. He just won't. So he knows you better than you know yourself. He knows what you can handle, what you can't handle. So I don't want you guys asking for something that you can't handle, bro. I know you want that. I know you want that bad bitch. I know you want that nice whip. I know you want that nice whip, bro. I know you want that nice physique. But but I'm gonna be very honest with you. In order to have a car like this, you have to change this, and you have to be more responsible with this. Your money. This car is $800 a month to lease. That means you have to set aside $800 a month to be able to drive in something like this. My apartment, $2,000 a month. Can you save enough money right? First, do you make enough money to even be able to afford those two things? And secondly, do you have the emotional control not to spend all your money on bullshit? Right? And then if you want that bad bitch, bro, or you want that good looking woman, she's gonna cost money. Right? She shouldn't take all your money, but she's gonna cost some money. Can you set aside money to be able to get her hair done, nails done, right? To be able to, help her with, paying her, her tank, giving her money for food or her gas tank. I'm not saying sit there and pay for her entire lifestyle. Fuck no. But like chipping in when you can, because no girl, especially in a relationship, it's an investment too. That's an investment. Can you set aside money to do that? Do you have enough money to do that? Right? But most importantly, when you're in a relationship with a woman, especially a good-looking woman, do you have the emotional control to not lash out on her when she gets attention from other people? Do you have the emotional control to sit there when she's telling you about yourself, right? And be able to take what she's saying with a grain of salt and then correct yourself so that you can move accordingly and move as a leader? Or will you sit there like a bitch, right? And be like, well, fuck her, right? I know what I'm talking about. Will you let your ego get in the way will you let your ego get in the way? Get in the way. She's telling you, hey, hey, bro, like, you're not really that clean. Do you have the emotional control to be like, okay, no, you're right. Let me make sure that I clean my area. I'm gonna make sure that I don't do this again. Thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that. Or do you do this? Bro, you got me fucked up. You're not even that clean yourself. Like, who are you to tell me if I'm clean or not? The second person who reacts like that won't have a relationship. The first person, they're open to getting help, and they're open to, to getting the things that they, getting everything that you want in life. God talks about being humble, right? And dropping ego. Being humble, I used to didn't like that, because when I read the definition of it, it says lowering oneself for others or something like that, lowering one's self-worth. And when I just saw that, I said, fuck no. But when I read the Bible's definition of it, it doesn't mean that. The Bible's definition of it is basically stating, you understand your worth, but you're not too high. You're not so egotistical that you won't take advice from other people. Like, you understand what internal worth that you bring, right? What external worth that you bring to the table, but you're still open to criticism. You're still open to, getting input from people. And I'm still working on that myself, right? I'm still working on that myself. Like, I'm trying to not be an egotistical person. I'm praying to God every day to cleanse my heart, bro. I don't want to build resentment towards people. I don't want to, have a negative look towards life. I don't want, I don't want that, bro. I don't want to, be so, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You can't tell me shit. Because the second that you start doing that, bro, is the second that you fall. Like, and if you don't believe me, go study the successful people in history that fell off. The reason why 2026 is one of the greatest times to live is because, first, we have the internet. So it really, realistically, if you know what you're doing, it doesn't have to take you 10 years to really get successful. But most importantly, you can study success from other people in all areas of life. Look at every person that has fallen off. Successful person. Just look at every athlete that went broke. Just study it. What did they do wrong? They had no financial structure. They had no day structure. They were, giving into vices. They were giving into coke, drugs, alcohol. Like, I'm telling you guys this right now, and I hope you guys really understand this. And this is something that I had to grasp too. Look, I'm gonna be very transparent. If I were to give you, let's say that you were broke. If I were to give you $100,000 today, you would blow through that shit in a year. If you have bad habits and bad spending habits, you'd blow through that shit. You would spend it. If you're an alcoholic, you would spend it. You would spend all your money on alcohol. Then that will lead you to going to clubs and shit like that. You'll go into the club, fuck with bitches, right? That are not good for you. You would fastly deteriorate your life. You guys don't understand this shit? If I already gave you money, is just an amplifier of your flaws. The reason why people don't want to get in relationships is because a relationship amplifies and exposes your character flaws. So if you don't work on your character flaws while you're single, right? Or you don't work on your your spending habits when before you get money, that shit will just amplify when you get successful, bro. Money is an amplifier. A relationship is an amplifier, and it exposes you. That's why men get so mad in relationships, because the women are looking at these men and they're just exposing all your flaws, and you've never sat down with your flaws, and so you take it out on her. And I've been there, bro. I've not take it out on her as like I did something abusive, but like I just, I got exposed, and I'm like, fuck this shit, bro. Like, fuck this. And I just leave the relationship. Like, I just wouldn't say nothing. I just kind of just leave, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, you just leaving, dipping like that? So, relationships aren't hard, bro. They aren't. You just gotta be responsible. Gotta just be a man, bro. And what does that look like? Take care of yourself physically. Take care of yourself mentally, right? Be true to who you are, always. Never change who you are. Always keep on growing as a person. Track your spending. Track your macros. That's why I say tracking your macros is so important, bro. If you can track your food every day, you can track your spending. If you can track your spending, you can control your spending. If you can't control your spending, you will not get a car like this. And if you do find a way to get a car like this without tracking your spending, bro, you will lose that shit. And you will blow through all the money. You'll blow through it. Trust me. I've blew through thousands of dollars. Thousands. Not having any financial structure. You need a day structure. You need financial structure. You need physical structure, right? Meaning you need to know how many calories you need to eat a day to get the body that you want. You need to know how much money that you can only spend a day. You need to know your expenses. You need to know you need to know all that as a man. You need to know all that shit, bro. And I know, like, if I tell you guys this shit, right? Some of you guys are gonna be like, bro, like, that's a lot, bro. Like, I don't want, like, some of you guys might not just be ready for that shit. But like, that's why I respect people in relationships and people who get married, right? People who do bodybuilding shows and shit like that, because it requires structure, and it requires it requires impulse control. You know how easy it is to go out and go fuck with any girl that you see? That it takes nothing to do that. I'm about to go into this gym right now, and there's hella bitches in here. There's hella girls. My fault. I'm not gonna use that language anymore. There's nice, beautiful black queens in here. Beautiful white queens in here, right? Latina queens, right? I don't want to refer to women like that. I don't do that. I wasn't raised like that, and I don't believe women are that, right? So there's nice looking women in there. You know how easy it would be for me just to walk up to all of them and start conversations with them, and get them in the BMW and take them out to dinner and all that kind of stuff, and get to know them and shit like that. Easy. It takes a true man to restrain from doing that. Because if I'm gonna do that now, when I have millions of dollars, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that too, and I'm gonna think it's okay. And the cost at that is a lot higher, right? You have to align. You just have to just know what aligns with what you want. Do you want to be a playboy? Like, I don't care. Look. If y'all want to just be a person in the streets, I'm down for that. Just don't half step it. If you truly want to be in the streets, right? Pursue that wholeheartedly. Don't be in the streets and just be like, well, I kind of want a relationship too. Like, because you can't have both. You can't. People think that they can have both, but when they try to do both, that's where all the toxicness come in, and that's where somebody gets hurt. You have to pick a path. Either you're in the streets wholeheartedly, like I'm in the streets. That's what I'm doing for the next 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. Or I'm a one woman man. I'm intentional with the people that I talk to, and I respect the men that I only take it one woman at a time. I'm intentional with the one person that I'm talking to. That's intentional. You have to be intentional. The people that talk to multiple people, they're not going to get in a good relationship, because there's no way that you can get to know somebody, right? There's no way that you can get to know somebody wholeheartedly if you're talking to 3 or 4 other people. There's no way. There's no way. All right, but about to get into this gym. This is going to be a longer vlog than usual, but I just had a lot on my mind, bro. And I don't worry about, how long these things are, but I'm giving you guys the keys to life, bro. Like, I'm learning from my own mistakes and I'm giving it to you guys. Like, a lot of people write books and stuff like that. Books are cool, right? I personally don't listen to books. I'd rather just listen to it. I'd rather listen to something like this, right? So yeah, bro, like I'm learning to become a real man, right? It just doesn't align with me anymore to fuck with multiple girls. It just doesn't align with me anymore. That's an energy leak. I just got some chicken breast. I got my seasonings that I used. Sloppy Mama sauce, or seasoning. The chicken rub. Also, look, I got your black pepper, right? Black pepper, and then garlic powder. Perfect, right? I had to go to the grocery store every Wednesday. I go to the grocery store and I re-up on my meal prep food. I did get some zero calorie Sprite Zeros, and I keep my grocery bill pretty low. Like, every time I go to the grocery store, it's under $100, right? So I'll probably spend about $50 to $100 a week, because I keep my foods very, very simple. Okay. Today's workout was fire. I really couldn't focus on it the way that I truly wanted to, because I was recording, but that's okay. Right, I was recording, people was talking to me and stuff like that. That's fine though. Like, usually in the past, what would happen is I'd be so caught up in it because I couldn't, I'm like, man, I can't get the mind muscle connection like the way that I want to. But at this point in the game, bro, I've been doing this for a very long time, and you won't always have the best workouts. So I'm a content creator too at the end of the day, and I'm just embracing that, bro. Like, if you're trying to become a content creator like myself, bro, it really comes down to the consistency. I know that sounds so cliche, but it just comes down to the consistency of just keep on posting. Post the things that are interesting to you. Post things that can help other people, right? Like people will tell you like there's certain ways to post and stuff like that, and there is, right? You should look up different platforms on how to post, but at the end of the day, you can't beat consistency. At the end of the day, like I told myself that I'm going to be posting, on social media for the rest of my life, right? Like I'll be posting for the next 30, 40 years, right? Like I won't literally stop. I won't stop posting on social media for the next 30 to 40 years. Like you will see my posts for the next 30, 40 years, right? So with that type of mindset, I have long view, right? And I will have such a large catalog of, YouTube videos and, workout videos that at that point, bro, like my content will be, undeniable, bro, at that point. So I put all this in the air fryer to let y'all know. My bad, I'm trying to just turn this on. My bad. Okay, so now it's on preheat right now. So I'm just, I'm gonna just season the shit out of this right here. I'm just gonna deal with it, bro. I just keep my meals very, very, very simple. If I have to do extra cooking and stuff like that, it's over. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna make it. Like I cook all my chicken breasts. I pretty much cook it for the week. But this week I didn't because I fell off the plan a little bit. It's okay to fall off the plan as long as you get back onto it. And I'm sticking to my program, bro. I'm sticking to my program. A mentor once told me, where do you run to in times of adversity? Do you run to things that break you, right? Or do you run things that build you up, right? At the end of the day. And that's what I've been, that's what I've been 100% doing. I'm just gonna stick to things that, just build me up as a person. I'm not going out here and I'm not gonna go out here and when things go wrong in my life, let's say I have relationship issues or I have financial issues or anything like that, I will not stop my program. That's something that I'm just gonna make non-negotiable for myself. Like no matter if I'm broke, no matter if I am in a relationship, no matter what, I'm not going to stop my program. I'm going to continue to hit my macros. I'm going to continue to do my workout. I'm going to continue to post 5 to 6 times a day. I'm going to still do my push-ups. I'm going to still read my devotional every single day. I'm going to still do my steps, right? I'm going to still do what builds me, right? And I'm going to just stick to my program. And, I'm going to set certain money aside. I'm going to still do what I have to do because that's what's ultimately going to get you to where you want to go. Doing the boring work over and over and over and over and over again. This shit is not sexy. Success is not sexy. All right? It's just doing the same boring shit over and over and over again. And one thing that I would do, bro, you guys, is since I want results faster, I would do more. Like I would tell myself, okay, I'm gonna post 6 times a day or 3 times a day. Then I'd be like, okay, but I want to get results faster. So then I would try to post 10 times a day. 15 times a day, then I'd burn out, right? Or I would be like, oh yeah, bro, I want to get to my results faster. Let me work out, twice a day like how I used to when I was 21. I'm not doing it anymore. I go in there, I complete my workouts because I have all my workouts on my, okay, I'm about to put the chicken in here. Hold on, give me a second. So as I was saying, I would go extra harder because I wanted to see extra results. So I'm like, okay, bet. Like I'm about to really go, go hard. I'm about to go twice a day. I want to get rid fast, but fast. And that's what ends up burning you out. So when I go to the gym, you guys are gonna see that I do basic workouts, bro. Like, of course, you'll see me change my split, from time to time. Like, I'll keep you guys updated with that. But success is boring, right? If you can consistently do the boring shit, you will get the result that you want. And in order to do the boring shit, you can't be overstimulated, right? People get overstimulated with shit. It's gonna take you a minute to get the body that you want. It's gonna take a minute, right? Now, some people do that, say that, and then they justify, they be like, oh, well, things take time, and then they'll let themselves get away with losing like 20 pounds in 5 months. I'm like, bro, like you have to be on a certain trajectory at least. Like, you should have lost at least 20 pounds in 2 months. But, it is what it is. But be patient, you guys. Be patient. Stick to your non-negotiables that I tell you guys to do. Track all your food. Hit your macros. Do your push-ups in the morning. Do your push-ups in the morning. Read your devotional. Go to work and try and do your best, right, every single day. And just stick to your program no matter what. No matter what happens in your life. I don't care if you're in a divorce or anything. Stick to your program, right? Stick to your program. And then this is honestly for me right now. When things are going good, don't negotiate. Because I'm really good at, look, this is the thing. I'm really good at sticking to shit when I'm not where I want to be at. Because I have motivation. Because I'm not happy with where I'm at. It's when everything is going my way. That's my issue. I start getting happy and shit. Right? So one thing that I'm going to learn how to do that is just be neutral. I don't get too high on things. I don't get too happy. Like if I have a big month in business, I'm not getting too happy. Right? If I have an all-time low and I'm looking my best, I don't get too happy. You know why? Because the second that you get happy is the second that you regress. Because then you'll start saying, well, I'm in great shape, I can eat this. I'm in great shape, I don't have to go to the gym anymore. Right? And the person that stops working, he starts regressing. That's why if someone's where you want to be at, bro, and you start seeing them like, partaking in certain, parties or doing certain shit, it's like, okay, bet. Like, bet. Like, let them enjoy it. But just know that that's their downfall. They're going to slowly taking back steps and they don't even know. So like when I see my competition, right? They had a big month in business, they got 1 million followers, whatever, and they go party. I'm like, bet. They're on a downwards trajectory now. Because you guys need to understand that, especially with men, once you start dipping into comfort, it's really hard to break that shit. And I mean really hard to break that shit. It's super hard to break that shit, bro. Super hard to break it. So I'm not saying that I won't be happy. I won't even say that I won't celebrate. But before we celebrate, I'm knocking out my non-negotiables for that day. I'm still hitting my macros for that day. Because it's a discipline thing, bro. You guys don't understand. Like I was telling you guys earlier today, like a lot of successful people, they lose their discipline once they get successful because the goal for them was to get a certain amount of money, get a certain physique. A mentor told me something one time, bro, that I didn't understand it until now, right? He's very profound when he said this. He said that he told us, he was like, man, the reason why, he said like, you guys need to stop having goals. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, bro, I'm like, tripping, right? But he said like, you guys don't have goals. I don't have a goal, right? And he said the reason, and since I don't have any goals, I'm gonna get farther than you guys. And then he was like, what? He's like, because I don't have a cap. And we was like, what? He said, I don't have a cap. I'll just keep on going, even if I make a certain amount of money. If your goal is, I want to make $1 million, you make the $1 million, you're going to take your foot off the gas. I won't. Because my goal is just to keep on showing up every single day. Your goal was to see a monetary end goal. And I'm like, damn, that makes so much sense. So he's focused more on just continuously showing up for the rest of his life, while we're focusing on a monetary goal that doesn't really even matter. So he said the man, and you guys always hear it all the time, the man that loves to walk is always going to get further than the person that just loves the destination. Like, we all hear this shit, but it's so hard to apply, bro, every day, because we're human, and we don't really want to, we really want comfort, bro. We really want comfort. We really want, we just really want comfort, bro. We really want to get to a point where, we can just kick our feet back. But that's where all the boredom, the boredom, the desire, and the vices start coming in, bro. That's not what you want, right? If you didn't have a job and you had all the money in the world, bro, to be honest, bro, I've been there. Honestly, I've been there. You would hate your life, bro. You would hate your life. You'd hate your life because the money and you not having nothing to do would expose something in you. It would expose that you're really unhappy and that all that money wasn't going to make you happy, and you wouldn't have anything to do all day. No one wants to wake up every single day and not have nothing to do. You guys may feel like that right now because maybe you're working at 9 to 5 and you're working all this time, but blah blah. But if you really had nothing to do and all you had was money, you would destroy your life. You would destroy your life. A man needs purpose. He needs a conquest, right? And my conquest is very simple. It's very simple. I'm going to do the same things every single day until the day I die. I'm going to hit my macros. Of course, like the direction is going to change. Like, I can't cut for the rest of my life. Like, that just it just doesn't work like that, right? I have to go bulk. I have to reverse diet and stuff like that. If you guys understand fitness, you know what I mean. I have to reverse diet and do stuff like that. But hitting the macros stays the same. Like, the macros hitting still stays the same, right? Showing up on social media, you can't post the same damn way, but you have to still post, right? You have to post, right? And then you got to do a workout. You can't do the same exact workouts, but the workout is going to get done, right? You have to switch up the workout, so you have to do, switch it up. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to beat a lot of people because I'm going to just do something that they're just going to do. I'm just going to show up every fucking day. That's it. And I'm going to do that so that when I lay my head in the casket one day, I'm like, bro, I showed up every single day. All the people that are successful that you guys want to look up to, like Muhammad Ali, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, you think that they actually did really boring shit. They ran, they ate a certain way, they got massages, they didn't do anything sexy. It's just they understood that doing the same boring stuff over and over and over again for a long duration of time, and that consistency turns into greatness, right? Greatness is all it is just consistently doing the right things longer than other people. Why do you guys think that they're saying that LeBron might be the GOAT? I personally think he's the GOAT, right? If we're talking from a basketball standpoint, just like statistics, LeBron is the GOAT, right? If you're just talking about who has a better impact on the game, who makes you feel better, I guess Michael Jordan, I guess. So I guess it's dependent on you, right? It's dependent on you, right? But why do they think that LeBron? Why do they say that LeBron, Kobe, all these people? What do they have in common? They were great for so long. They didn't have a 20-point. They didn't average 20 points, 25 points, whatever they averaged for a year. They did it for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, 20 years in the league. You guys get that? You're only as good as your last accomplishment. So your only goal, you guys' only goal should be fuck the money, okay? Because the money will come if you keep on showing up. Your job every single day is just to show up and just control everything that you can control, and that's it. Have emotional control, right? Don't get too high on the losses. Don't get too high on the wins. Especially don't get too high on the wins, because those wins gonna come in. You're gonna get the girl that you want. You're gonna get the money that you want. You're gonna have a physique. You're gonna think you big shit. Then you're like, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. Validate yourself with, I showed up one more time even when I didn't want to. And if that's the only gift, or that's the only lesson that you guys ever learn from me, this is what happens if you show up for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. That's how I got this, bro. Like, that's how I got the BMW, like, showing up, bro. Every day, saving money, doing the same boring stuff, saving a certain amount of money, right? Saving a certain amount of money, setting money aside, putting money here, right? It's a boring process. And it's gonna take a long time. And I know this, I ain't gonna lie, this vlog has been very long, but I've had a lot of things to say. And if you guys really watch this until the end, bro, I fucking love you, okay? And I'm gonna be on YouTube 3 times a week, and I'm gonna keep it up, right? It's not really about intensity, it's about consistency over a long duration of time. That's the key to success. It's not about intensity, because you can be intense for a season, right? And you can see some great results. Don't get me wrong, but then you'll flame out. Right? I only do things that I can sustain. If I can't sustain it, I don't do it. Because my goal at the end of the day is to reach a certain level, right? And I used to panic throughout the day, and I used to be all frantic, like, oh, I have to get this done. Bro, relax. I'm like, bro, relax. You're gonna get it done, but you have to calm down, right? I used to really have this in my soul, bro. Like, if I don't get this done at a certain time, I'm not gonna be successful. If I don't wake up at a certain time, I just won't be successful, right? If I don't do this workout at this time, I'm not gonna be successful. And that's just not how it goes. That's not how it goes, right? That's just not how it goes, bro. So you just have to accept, like, cause I study great people. I study all these people in different fields that were great and successful in all their areas, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what do they do? What are they doing differently? And I'm gonna tell you one thing that they're doing. They're willing to commit to the boring work that you can't do for 2 weeks, and they do that shit for years. And then that compounding interest of them showing up every single day, they get that one moment where all their hard work stacks up into one moment. And since they're so prepared for that moment, right? Because they've had years of repetition, they crush that moment, and that one moment changes their life forever. My moment might not be for another 2 or 3 years. I might get a call from, whoever. Hey, G, I need you to train me. And that one person could change my whole life.